Okay, so just to save a little bit of time so I can get this video all in one, I went ahead and dumped the dough out on the counter. You have to use a lot of flour for this. This is a very sticky dough. This is the time when you want to use a lot of flour to hold it together right up until the time that you put it in that flour or the fryer. So what I've done is I have rolled it out and I have put my apples in line here, and I was heavy-handed with the cinnamon because a lot of people likes a lot of cinnamon. Me, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not making this for me. I'm making it for other people. So we're gonna put a lot of cinnamon there, and then here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll this. I'm gonna put the camera down, and I'm gonna come back when it's done. But I'm gonna roll this so you can actually see. Let's see here. No, I thought I would be able to do that, but anyway, we're working. This is a work in progress, guys. We're going to get there. So I'll pick you back up in a second. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So what I did was I've just rolled the dough. I put flour on both sides of the wax paper, and I rolled the dough into a long roll so that the apples are in the middle. I should have videotaped that, but I'm just trying to make this video all in one. And then once I got a long row, what I did was I started out with diagonal cuts like this to the end. Then I went back and did diagonal cuts this way. And then I did diagonal cuts a little bit smaller, and then I went lengthwise. Now, the key is to have little pieces, and this is, like I said, you're going to have to use quite a bit of flour for this. And then what I'll do is, now that I have them pretty much how I want them, you can definitely make them. You want to make the pieces fairly small. They don't all have to match, but then I'm going to put them on wax paper, and then they're going to get proof for probably another 30 more minutes. And then they're going to the fryer. But remember, once the dough is lined out, then you just kind of flop the dough over, and then you roll it to a long roll. Okay? And I'll get right back with you. Okay, everyone. So now we're done with that part. This is the next part. I cut them into little sections, and I added a little flour to those that needed it. If you had some parts that had the apples exposed or that wasn't really holding together great, you can add a little flour on there. Now, remember, the flour in the oil will make your oil burn faster, but it's okay. We don't have that many, so it should be okay. But you may have to change your oil halfway through depending on your oil and how much flour is in there. But you would rather change your oil than have your apple fritters fall apart. So here's a close-up. Let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8. I got about 17. Now, you can make them I wouldn't get them too big because obviously you want them to be done in the middle. But this is about what I made a couple little bit smaller. Those are the ones that I'll eat, kind of like my test donuts. But so you see there's chunks. Now, okay, like this one right here. This was some of the dough that was left over. So at the end, so I kind of formed it together. As you see, it's not so much chunky like these are. I mean, it's still going to be a good apple fritter, but it may not produce the little pieces that you pull off like a traditional old-fashioned apple fritter. And this is the standout difference between good old-fashioned apple fritters versus what you get in some of the grocery stores and things like that, like their donut section, or even some of the donut stores. They make them like a lot of the recipes you see online where you don't put yeast and you just, they're just one cohesive donut. They're not pieces. But to me, this is what distinguishes a real good old-fashioned apple fritter. And so now these are slightly a bit crowded, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out another cookie sheet and separate a few of them on there because they are going to proof up some more. So we're going to leave them here 30 minutes. Now I can go ahead and turn my oven off because the oven top is still hot. Again, this is my proof box basically. So these need to proof a little bit longer, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, everybody, so we're back to the frying stage. There they are. They did proof up. And the oil, the thermometer, this is the oil I use, is canola oil. Now, glaze, I made the glaze this time. I did have the corn syrup with the other yeast video. I didn't have the corn syrup, but I did go ahead and stick with the milk. I usually use hot water, but I kind of like the way the milk, it gave the glaze a little bit better taste, I think. It is a little whiter, but it is what it is. So here we go with this. Now, I've already checked the oil, and one thing I want to tell you is setup is really important when you're frying donuts, because you know, a few seconds can change the difference of your dough color, make your donuts dark, burn them, or what have you. So it's a lot easier when you have everything just set up, ready to go. So my advice is, you know, find what works for you, but definitely have everything right there when you get ready to fry. The oil, your rack. I'm using and actually these are cookie racks, but they work really well. They came in a set of 3, so I'm able to use them. I have 3 of them. But you can also use the sheet pan with the rack on it. Really, whatever you want to use to make a rack is fine. So here we go with this. Now, as you can see, look at that. They're the little pull-apart pieces. Now remember, the flour is going to cause some browning of your oil, and my finger, and it's going to also cause some foaming of your oil too. So now these are going to float back up to the surface. Just give them a few seconds there, and then there they go. You see that? And what I would do is 60 seconds. Let's put these here. Okay, everybody, here's our final product. These are just a few. I have made so many. These are the fritters completed, close up, a few things. For one thing, I had to make glaze twice. That's the reason why I've said it a few times. I can't stand glaze because no matter how much I make, it seems like it is never enough. And also the flour, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and please share it. Bye.